Alright, what is up guys? We're back again with another video. And as you can see, I have Camellia here, which is not a character in my account. We'll be checking out my homie's account. He hasn't played WIWA in a while. Like, he stopped playing, I think, after 1.2. He's going to be talking about his account in a second here, so I'll let him explain that to you guys. But pretty much what I'm going to be doing is what I would do in his situations, what characters I'd pick up, and how I'd go about making this account, I guess, better, or make content easier to clear to make the game more fun if I was in his situation. So without further ado, I'll let him give his intro.
Hey everyone, my name is AJ. If you guys want to check me out on YouTube, my name is AJ Gone Rogue, and I'll be covering some more Wuthering Waves content. As far as for this account, I started playing on day 1 of Wuthering Waves, and then I took a break right after 1.1, and then I played a little bit when Camellia came out, but then pretty much since then I've just taken a break from the game. So I have some characters built up, and you'll probably see I have a bunch of echoes, but yeah, a lot of my characters are not super built up, so that's pretty much it.
Alright, so let's get right into it. First, we're going to take a look at all the characters and obviously what you got leveled and everything. Let's see. Actually, let's turn up the audio a little bit. I can barely hear what Camellia saying. That should be it. Alright, so obviously you have Camellia, and Camelia's nuts because, well, her best in slot character is Sanhua, which you already have. That's going to make building your team extremely goddamn easy. And you have her signature, which is obvious. That shit's amazing. No, obviously, guys, we got no constellations. Pretty much free to play.
Yeah.
Let's see. Weapon, right echo set. And then, so let's see, we got 9, 9, and 10. There's a 6 and 3. Honestly, this character is pretty decent. I think the biggest issue is, let's see, we got a little bit too little crit damage with too high crit rate. I mean, 80% crit rate is obviously good, but when your crit damage is that low, it's gonna nerf your damage a little bit. You're gonna want to get these. These are like extremely important as well, because this is gonna give you a shit ton of attack.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like 8.4% attack or something, which is gonna boost your attack way higher, make you hit a lot harder. This character doesn't really need a shit ton of ER. You have her weapon, which is amazing for her. So, I mean, honestly, this character is very good. Yeah, the only issue is get your last. I'd probably just get my last attack percents here. Get whatever skill, or I guess max out whatever skill you think is most important. Obviously, you don't want to use too many resources, but that's a good thing about WoW, right? Usually for a character, there's only 2 to 3 skills that you need to get to 10. And then the other ones are so insignificant, you don't really need to invest resources into them, so you can save a shit ton. So for Camellia, I'd try to get more of like a 1 to 2 split, because right now you have pretty much 80 over 127, because in Wuthering Waves, obviously you're always going to be doing 100% of your damage, which is why all characters start with a base 100% crit damage.
Yeah.
So you always want to try and count from there. So right now your Camellia would be at 80 over 127. So you want to try and get to 1 to 2. For Sanhua, honestly, I feel like your Camellia is going to be just destroying everything in the goddamn game. Like, with or without Sanhua's stuff leveled up, you already have the like right echo set. You don't really need to even invest anything into Sanhua, genuinely. I think with Sanhua, Camellia, and said support, whatever one you want to use, Verena obviously is the one you have, because you don't have Shorekeeper yet, right?
No.
Yeah, so you want to run. Honestly, this team may be so strong. I think we might even need to move Verena to another team, because this team is going to be cracked. So yeah, I mean, what you could do is, since you don't have Shorekeeper in this situation, you level Sanhua to make this team a little bit stronger, and then you can run another character and free up the slot, or maybe even run Baiji with just a very mid set, just so you can trigger the healing set, just to give them a little bit of extra damage. So yeah, you probably run Baiji, and that's what I do in this situation. And then you move Verena to a team that needs it more. I see you have Yao and you have Yinlin, which is like absolutely ridiculously strong team. Like, Yao does some absurd amount of damage. You have Yinlin's signature, so Yinlin's going to be performing out of her mind. You're running a 4-4, 1-1-1. Honestly, obviously, you want to go like try and slowly work towards a 4-3-1-1-1 for the better damage. For Yinlin, other than honestly, the only other things you need for Yinlin is you want to get up her Liberation and I think Forte Circuit. Her skill damage is actually not bad as well. You can get it up if you want a little bit of extra damage, but yeah, you want to get especially these. Like, these crit rates cannot be slept on. That is that's a pretty stupid amount of crit rate to just get for free, and then the attack percents obviously are like the next best bet.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just guaranteed damage for like resources that you're gonna use daily. Like you can take like 1 week or less than a week and go through all your characters and just get all of these leveled up, right? As you can see for even Yinlin right now, the only thing you're missing is boss materials, which is like, this is gonna be the only thing that's gonna really gatekeep you. Because these you can only do 3 times a week, so you can't really be skipping out on any week. So like work on whatever one you really want. Yeah, that's like the main gatekeeper that's gonna be holding you back is the boss material. So you gotta like dedicate those to, I'd say, your main DPS first. So I'd probably go Yao. Unfortunately, you do not have his weapon, so you'd want to look towards his next best in slot. Even this is not bad because his weapon gets a really high base attack, which means he'll be hitting like a truck. So the only difference is you're gonna need to focus on his crit stat, his crit ratio a lot more because the weapon doesn't grant you any crit rate.
Yeah, yeah, my lingering tunes build.
Yeah, that definitely that's gonna need to change the electric. But I mean, hey, if it works for now, it works for now, right? Obviously, I'd work towards getting his best in slot echo set, and then work towards a good crit ratio. It's gonna be a little bit harder since you don't have his signature, but you do have this one, which is not bad. You just get it to 90. It'll give you an absurd amount of attack. It gives you energy recharge, which this character likes because his main source of damage, everything comes from liberation. And when you pop his ult is when he starts doing damage. The basic attack is not really going to be good, and the skill damage is very okay, but it gives you a high attack with good ER that he needs. But yeah, that in itself is a really good team. I guess honestly the best way to do it, we'll organize your teams. I'll organize the teams on like I guess your top slot. And this is going to be your strongest team on your account, by the way. Unironically, actually maybe not because you have the signature for Camellia, but Yuanwu, Jinhsi, and Verena that team is absolutely broken.
Yeah.
It's absurd how much damage it does, and it's 2 free-to-play characters. You have her signature as well. Obviously, you want to get this to 90 so you can get more crit rate and more base attack because that's what makes these weapons broken. And you have 43111, which is good. She's chilling on a 79 over 210. Again, like you have a lot of crit rate. You need a higher crit damage. Even if you can lower your crit rate a little bit and try and get more crit damage.
I have an echo on there. For the forecast, the forecast. I actually have one that will
give you
swap the higher.
Oh, I see. How's he gonna be looking with this? 60 over 254. Honestly, this is one of the few characters that 60% crit rate you can get away with. You're gonna be crit fishing a little bit, but I mean your crit damage just went up so much. It's actually, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, you're just trading off 20 crit rate for 40 crit damage, which is again 1 to 2. But this character, right, like all of her, pretty much 90% of her damage is coming from her forte. So all you really need to crit is her forte, right? Which is why I say you can play around a crit fishing a little bit. You just go in, do all your damage, and then forte. And as long as your forte crits, you're happy, right? Because I mean, that's a good 80% of your damage. The rest of it is coming from her skill does a little bit, and then her ultimate does a little bit. Her ultimate's honestly pretty decent. With a decently built Jinhsi, you're gonna be seeing almost 100k with her ult on crit. So yeah, obviously this team is good. The thing that a lot of people don't know about this team is the sets that you gotta do. So for Yuanwu could literally be level 1. Now, while I do say that, I would recommend you get this right here. You want to get him to the point where he gets the increased radius. This right here. Oh, you already have it. Perfect. Actually, yeah, this right here. Let's see, the resonance skill Thunder Uprising increased by 40% efficiency variation strong. You just want the extra AoE for his Thunder Wedge, just so when monsters move around in the area, they don't like get out of it, and then your Jinhsi is weaker. And the rotation is very quick because the thing is, Yuanwu doesn't really need an intro or anything on the set, because all he needs to do is 3 things. You will intro onto him, you will drop his skill, auto attack, use I use Bellborn. This one's fine too, it doesn't really matter. Bellborn is as good because low level characters, they take a lot of damage in the Abyss, right? So if you're struggling with survivability, you can use Bellborn. If not, you can use this guy right here. So for Verena, you want to give her the Heron set, and then Yuanwu, you want to give him this one right here for the healing set. And then you want to give him the glove that lets him do just a little bit of healing. And that's the most crucial part, right? Because where is that? No, the good thing is it's a blue one. Unfortunately, you don't have it right now. So once you roll on the weapon banner a little bit, you'll get it, right? Because I mean, it's just blue.
Yeah.
But pretty much you run any weapon. I'll show you the rotation. It's very simple. And this will clear majority of content. So all you want to do is you want to use Jinhsi until she gives you like the free outro into another character, because that's what helps her build up her forte. You just go to Yuanwu, pillar, auto attack, echo, and you're immediately off Yuanwu. You do your Verena rotation, you go to Jinhsi, and then you do everything and then drop her dragon. And that is literally the entire rotation. Yuanwu's on field for 3 instances, then Verena until you get her outro, ult and everything off, and then you're back to what's her name? Jinhsi. And this will kill anything. I used this for a long time until I got JJ on a rerun. So this team, I mean, was literally carrying the shit out of me until I got JJ on a rerun. I also made a previous video on the channel, so you can go back and watch. It's like a full guide on how to do the rotation, everything. This was just like a quick way just showing what I would do, right? But pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'll organize the teams here as I guess I'd make them. Because what's it called? Honestly, your account has a lot of good characters. Obviously, you're missing like characters like Shorekeeper, right? Which would make the games like a lot more easy. But I mean, it's not like you really need it. Like this team right here will be able to do almost any content. You have a really goddamn good Camellia team. The fact that you have Camellia and her weapon is gonna make this a lot better for you.
Yeah, and I think I have Sanhua at like max like
constellation. Yeah, I mean, so even then, since Sanhwa's max, you can use her for damage. And even for this team, honestly, you level up Baiji and this team will do just fine. Because it's already just, I mean, these two are gonna just carry the shit out of this team, I'm not gonna lie. As for the other team, you wanna run like Yao, Yinlin, and Verena. This is another really, really good team. And it's like very like honestly free to play. Like you have Carlotta as well, which you can run like Carlotta, Sanhua, but obviously you want to try and save your Sanhua for your Camellia. So we could do your Carlotta, Tao Chi. This is what I was using, and I was able to clear Abyss and everything with this team. So even with Tao Chi, Carlotta is just such a good character, is that she's just so goddamn strong. She doesn't need her best in slot to work. Her damage is already like absurd. But this, if Tao Chi honestly won't be doing a lot of damage, even if you do level her up a shit ton, her damage is like honestly very meaningless. It will only make a difference if you're like struggling to clear content, like you're just on the verge of like needing a little bit of extra damage. Then I'd recommend you hop on Tao Chi and then like maybe build her up a little bit more just so she can help you clear content. And that in itself is already a good team. Encore is also another really good character. She can be run with Sanhua, and then you can run Verena. Encore does a lot of goddamn work. She's an amazing free-to-play character.
Yeah, she is correct.
Yeah, like for free to play, and you have her like best in slot weapon. Encore will do demonic work on your account to all content. And honestly, that is all the teams that work on. I feel like for like support characters, again, like you don't unless you're like dying on them, so you can't get your rotation off. You don't really need to level up anything on these characters. If anything, try and get them tankier just so you like when you're on them for doing their rotations, they don't get one-shotted. That's like the main thing. As for Carlotta, you don't have her gun, right? But you have the standard banner gun. This pistol is honestly amazing because it gives crit rate and a high base attack, so this pistol will do a lot of work for her. It's not as good as her signature, but it's still very good. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I'd go about it for your account. Your characters are really good. I mean, even if you wanted to like really lock in and try hard, you could go like Kalcharo and play her quick swap with Yinlin, but this is gonna require like a lot more time and effort to go through the hard work and learning how to quick swap. So I mean, I would just run Zhang Liao. But in a situation, if you really want to run this guy, I mean, you have Thing's weapon, right? You have Ages of Harvest, so you can always just throw this on him, and I mean, we'll do really good work for him.
Yeah.
As for Whimpering Waste, the things that run for Whimpering Waste is Camellia, obviously. Like, no doubt, Camellia will handle one side of her own easily. As for the second half, again, you could run Zhang Liao, Yinlin, and what's her face? You want to run Yang Yang, because Yang Yang is extremely good for grouping. You could run that for the second half. And honestly with that, you might be able to even, hey, you'd be chilling with just that, by the way. I mean, the fact that you have Camellia alone is going to make Whimpering Waste extremely good, because you have one team that can just absolutely lock down one side.
Yeah, just stomp one.
Yeah, like you have one side guaranteed. Like this team is going to deal with one side. No matter what, this team is going to be able to handle one side, right? So now you just need to try and just absolutely deep into the team that's going to be struggling more, which is going to be your Yao team, since you don't have his signature. Fortunately, you do have Yinlin's signature, and then you can just run Yang Yang. And you also have Emerald of Genesis, so if you really need Yang Yang to do more damage, you can also give her Emerald of Genesis for the second half. And yeah, honestly.
Would you recommend pulling a second, like from the standard, a second Emerald Genesis? Just
100%. That's what I'm working towards right now on my account, in fact. I do think a second Emerald of Genesis is worth it, especially on your end where you want characters like, I guess, Sanhua to do damage, and then now you need Yang Yang. For me, I run it on Chang Li, so now I want another one just in case I need Rover at the same time as Chang Li, right? So that's why I'm working on getting a second one. And as for characters I would pull, I mean, Cantarella, people are saying that she's gonna be used for what's her name? Prolovia, right? Because I mean, she's not the
Mm-hmm.
best for Camellia. All she's gonna give Camellia is a Havoc bonus. And I think
Yeah.
Sanwa's just, I mean, Cantarella's going to be doing more damage than Sanwa, so I think Cantarella will overall be a better character for Camellia, but it's not to the point where it's needed. I think Sanwa is still more than enough for her. So I'd
Yeah.
probably stick with Sanwa. Honestly, I would probably skip Cantarella and try and get Shorekeeper. The Shorekeeper is like, I mean, the character is just cracked. It's like the strongest character in the game because she works in like every goddamn team, and she's ridiculously good, and she's like ridiculously free to play. You don't have to invest like
Mm-hmm.
anything to get her value. She could literally sit bare bone and she'd be giving you ridiculous value. She's also a support that
Yeah.
can do damage if you decide to level her up to 90 and get her intro up to max. She will easily dish out a couple thousand damage every single time you do her in a rotation, easily, to everything in
Yeah.
a decently wide area. So that's another thing good about Shorekeeper is that she can do a little bit of damage if you need extra damage. And I mean,
Yeah.
who's passing up free damage?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now people have been like, we don't really know what role Zanny's covering yet. People are saying she need to work with Phoebe. So Zanny's another character that's honestly like a potential skip just in case. If she's not like I guess free to play or universal to work with like random characters. If she only works with one character,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty bad. But I think I mean usually WIWA has a lot of skill expression with their characters. So even if a character is only gonna work with one, I think you're still chilling. I think you'll be able to pull for the character regardless. Because I mean, as long as you're good enough in WIWA, you can iframe everything this game. You get value from iframing. You're gonna be able to clear content regardless. And honestly,
Yeah.
those are all the characters you know. I know there's like Arrow Rover. I don't really know a whole lot about Arrow Rover, so I can't really make any comments
Yeah,
on
me
that. I
neither.
hear she's gonna be good, but I mean, I'm not certain. And yeah, that's pretty much all we know about right now. So I mean, that's
Mhm.
what I would do if I was in your situation. Work on the teams I have. Try and get Shorekeeper because that character is extremely important. I mean, she's just cracked. She's not a need, but she's very broken. So it's like, if you want your game to be easier, you could get that character. If you don't really like Shorekeeper, I mean, you can always skip and wait for another support. Or maybe even
Yeah.
skip her and grab Cantarella, and you can use Cantarella as like a sub DPS support type character.
Yeah. I should have enough pools. Yeah. If you look at the pools, I should have enough. Like, and I'm at like 30 something 5 pity.
Yeah, you're
Already.
90 to better. Honestly, with 30 in 90, if you don't miss, bro, I mean, you'll easily be able to cop both, right? And the thing about
Yeah.
Shorekeeper is a purple weapon is all she needs. She just needs variation, and she's more than good enough. Like, you do not need Shorekeeper's signature at all. And the fact that you have this as well means Cantarella isn't even a bad option because this is going to be one of Cantarella's best weapons as well. I mean, Yinlin's
Yeah.
weapon is just cracked for anybody that pretty much uses this. It's out of control. So that's another good thing is that if you pull for Cantarella, you don't need a weapon for her. You can skip her weapon and then try and pull for Shorekeeper, which is another character you don't need a weapon on because you can just run a free-to-play option.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's about it, bro. I mean, you can let me know what you think. Ask any other questions if you have any guys are interested in.
Yeah. My question is as far as for like echo sets, should, because I know that like my resources as far as for echoes or like upgrading them is low. So should I just spend my time in like the with the tacit discords?
Honestly, I usually the thing you run into. I mean, the problem that I was running into at one point the most was always tuners, right? You don't have
Yeah.
that problem right now. You have a lot of goddamn tuners. So
I just
honestly,
have
for
no
you,
experience to
yeah.
lead.
So that's another problem. Yeah, if you're running into an XP problem to level up, well, I mean, yeah, that's what I'd have to invest it into, right? I mean, characters are not gonna function without echoes. So if
Yeah.
XP is your biggest issue, yeah, you're gonna need to maybe just lock in and farm a shit ton of XP for them. You have a decent
Yeah.
amount of these, which is not bad. That's gonna be, and that's a decent amount. It only takes a couple to get him to 15. Another thing I'd recommend when you're rolling echoes, only roll them to 15 because 15 is very cheap, right? And then you get to see the
Yeah.
first 3 stats. So you roll them to 15. That's these three. Just get him to like 10, 15. I'd say 15. That's a comfy number. And then you use your tuners, and then you try. If you don't see at least 2 things that you want within that first 15, I'd recommend try and roll another echo. It's not worth investing into something that only has one. Unless that
Yeah.
if that one is like absolutely ridiculous, like 21% crit rate roll, or like a 10.5, or I mean 21% crit damage, or like a 10.5 crit
Yeah.
rate or something. I mean, that's worth bringing to 20, do a little bit more gambling, see if you get lucky and get one more thing you need. And then you can move on from there. But the general, like, is just get to 15. If it doesn't have 2, drop it. Move on to another echo. Don't waste all your XP. Because that's going to punish you in the long run, especially when you have a lot of characters that you want to work on.
Yeah. So for like a lot of the DPS characters, focus more on like have at least minimum 60% crit rate and then like go for crit damage.
Yeah, honestly, I would say even 60. I'd say probably 65 plus. I think
Yeah.
the thing is like you just need to try and work towards a 1 to 2, right? So that's the most important thing. So if you have 60, you want 120 crit damage. Now if I have 60 crit rate and let's say I have, I mean in war standards it would be 250 crit damage because you always have 100. So yeah, so you're always gonna try to work a 1 to 2. I always take away 100 crit damage for whatever your total is. So this Carlotta would be at 154. So say I have 60 crit rate and I have like 190 crit damage or something stupid. It's like, okay, I mean, that's pretty, I have way too much crit damage, right? The damage is going to be too inconsistent. So you want to try and up your crit rate a little bit more, which in return is going to lower your crit damage. Try and get it close to a 1 to 2. The closer you are to a 1 to 2 is the more consistent your damage is going to be, right? Because you're going to be critting a lot more and your damage numbers are going to be decently high because of the crit damage that you have. That's like the most important thing.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I was like, because every time I look at the builds, I'm like, oh, they probably need more crit rate so they can crit more often. But then a lot of people like, I see a lot of builds that have like 60, like not really a lot of 70% crit rates, and they just have a bunch of crit damage. I'm like,
Yeah, that's the
okay.
thing. Right? Yeah, it's like you don't really have to like stress yourself too much about it. 60, even 60% is a solid start. Like if your character's on 60 and you have decent crit damage, you could like honestly chill there for now. Later on, you can go back and like invest into it more. The problem is the time versus experience that you're going to be using into investing into that character just to make them a tiny bit better is a lot more, that could do a lot more for a character that needs just everything, right? Like if you have a bare bone DPS and you have a DPS that's honestly solid enough to do all content, then you want to work on the character that's terrible, right? So they can become a lot better for you. And then eventually you can wrap back around to that character that you always wanted to just like fix or get them a little bit better. But you always want to have like, you want to at least have 2 to 3 teams usable. And then you can go through and fine tune them to make them a lot better.
Yeah. So basically character levels, weapon levels, traces are good things to invest in.
Yeah, you always want to get your character to 90, especially DPS. DPS is need 90, no doubt. Every DPS should be 90.
Yeah.
Then you want to get their weapon. Obviously, their weapon needs to be 90. Their base attack, crit rate, everything scales off that. Then Echo, honestly, you want to get these up as well because these are guaranteed damages, right? Everything in here is guaranteed increased damage for your character. From your crit to your attack percent to the, like, you usually want to look for the 3 most important ones and then skip the rest. Especially for WIWA. WIWA, there's only really 2 or 3 of these things is where you're going to need 10. And then the other ones don't really matter. Obviously, you want to look into your character, like watch videos or whatever you want to do. Just figure out which ones are the most important. And then after that, you want to have, then you can like start hard grinding on echoes, right? Because obviously you're going to need a good stat ratio. As for constellations, I mean, I personally don't go for constellations because I'd rather more characters than constellation for characters. But if you really like a character and you feel like a constellation is gonna like make that character 100 times better or whatever, then you can always work towards constellations.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I feel like I have some pretty decent characters. Like I think that like Camellia and Jinhsi, they like carry so much of my account.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
do so much damage.
it's gonna be,
It's insane.
and the craziest part is Jinhsi is extremely free to play with the Yuanwu team, right? And Camellia is also extremely free to play because you have Sanhua. So all you need to do is work on your Baiji, or if you're gonna be pulling for Shorekeeper since she's coming back soon, you don't need to work on Baiji, right? You can just wait for Shorekeeper, but that's only if you're guaranteed to get her. If not, get up your Baiji because I mean she's your next best support other than Verena, and you need 2 supports to make your teams like perform in this game.
All right. And would you have any tips for people who what would be your tips for people who are returning? Basically the same thing that you gave me. It's just like, hey, make sure you
Yeah, I mean, just look into your character, whatever characters you have right now. Try and figure out what the teams are. The teams are most important, obviously. You need to try and figure out what characters you're going to need to pick up to make those characters work. And always try, I mean, for everybody, bro, make sure you have Verena. Especially if you're new to the game, just pick up this little rat. This character is way too broken to not be on your account. Like, there's no character that is a must in this game, but I mean, this character is absolutely broken. And the best part is it needs like little to no investment. Like, you can literally have everything level 1 on this thing and it's gonna be doing just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you like lose 50/50s and you get dupes like I've done, yeah, it's like she gets even better.
Yeah, I mean, the Verena's just a really, really good character. And I mean, it's one of the like I guess she'd be top 2 most important characters in the game. Her and Shorekeeper, just because they're supports,
Yeah.
they fit into every team and they buff everybody on the team, all while doing a little bit of healing. Or if you want, you can invest into them so they do more healing. Like they're very important characters.
Sweet.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
pretty.
Well, I appreciate all the help and feedback. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, there's so much stuff that I feel like I need to do, and like, yeah, sometimes I think we're turning back. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do to like improve your characters.
Yeah, I mean, you just
Obviously.
gotta take it like one step at a time, right? To slowly break them down into
Yeah.
teams, figure out what's most important on your team, and then work from there, right? Fix up one team. This team is good enough, go to the next one. Remember just not to just sit there and over invest into one character, just try to make them perfect. As long as that character is strong enough, you're good. You can always get back to him later once you build up another team to make your game easier.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's no problem, man. I mean, honestly, this was pretty fun as well because I like looking to see what other people are doing on their accounts. Because I mean,
Yeah.
even for example, like Camellia, I don't even have this character, right? So it's a character that I haven't even used. It's one of the free characters that I had to skip out on. But yeah, all right, guys, that is gonna be the end for this video. Let me know if you guys like content like this, me helping out viewers' accounts. 'Cause if anything, I can do this for more viewers. If you're interested in this, you can join my Discord and drop. I'll make a chat, or you can just DM me. So whatever you want to know, and we can set up a date and we'll go through it. Again, thanks again to my homie AJ for showing me his account. I'll be dropping his link to the YouTube in the description below for you guys. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, peace out, peace out. Have a good day.